Today we will be going through the new BYU theme in Drupal7 using components. You should have already followed instructions to install several modules, the Pre-Pro module, the Sassy module, and then the PHP Sass library. We also encourage jQuery update module as well. So you should have already followed the instructions to get the theme prepared and installed and enabled. And now we are going to be getting into the theme settings. So first off, I can see that the Powered by Drupal block is displayed in the header, and I'm just going to disable that block. Now we're going to go into the theme settings, appearance, to settings, to BYU 2017 theme. Now our parent theme, Zerb Foundation, provides these tabs here, and we aren't going to worry about those now, and we're going to walk through the BYU tabs. So first off, we have this setting here that shows the two font package options. By default, we load the basic, which is just the fonts Vitesse and Gotham. I'm going to select full because I like using Sentinel for some of my headings. There are several other fonts in this package. We have settings here for each of the headings. You're allowed to change the font and the color. You could get more complicated with this on your own customization if you'd like, but this is what we have available quickly in the theme for you. So I'm going to change those up. Now under BYU header settings is where we come to the setting about the components version that we're actually using. Now, if you aren't familiar with BYUWeb components, they have been developed to give us our nice BYU header and footer, and they plug in easily to any website regardless of platform or CMS. They're just straight HTML and JavaScript, CSS. So here we can see the different versions that are available in the CDN. You can see that there's a master branch, which would be subscribing to the development, the latest features. We have two versions here that are static versions, meaning there would not be any updates. You can also subscribe to just bug fixes for your version or subscribe to all minor changes for your version. Latest would be the latest feature, and it could include moving to the next major version. So I would suggest either latest or subscribing to minor changes for your current version. Now here we have subtitle options. I'm going to add a subtitle. This is a subtitle. We're going to save and go take a look at that. Now we can see I have theme demo, there's my subtitle, and it is in italics. Now let's say I change my mind, I want it above, and I don't like italics, and I think it's a little bit too long. One example of a subtitle before the title could be Department of or College of. For now, I'm just going to do something easy. And let's continue on to our other header options. By default, the sign in, sign out block is not enabled. Not every website is going to use a sign in. Most websites don't require it, and if your main users aren't going to be logging in, then we shouldn't be displaying it. It defaults to using the Drupal login and logout URLs, but if you are using CAS or another method of authentication, we do have the option that you can provide those links here. We've tried to make this as configurable as possible so that this theme doesn't interfere with any of the functionality or customizations that you want on your specific website. Now we also have options for the My Account page. Some websites may use this. If the users do have a personal page, you can provide the login, the URL for that here. It does default to /user. And this will, by checking this box, adds the link to the username in the header. We'll refresh to see our changes. And there, now you can see my NetID is linked to my user page, and we have our sign in, sign out block available. I'm going to say I actually don't want my account linked, and I'm going to display the search bar. Now the search is something that can be kind of complicated depending on what module you're using for your search. Now you can see it is formatted correctly here using the basic out-of-the-box Drupal search block form. But this can become complicated if you are using a different module like custom search or other search modules, because they modify the HTML structure of the search form. So it is difficult for the web component to know what your structure is to be able to theme it. So there are instructions online if you need to customize that. Now moving on to action links. Action links should not be used as an additional menu item that couldn't fit in the menu. An action item is for a unique call to action. It could be something like apply, subscribe, cart. It should only ever be one word link. This is very limited space here in the header, and so we encourage this to be very well thought out. Like, think through this before you use it, and remember to have a short link. Now we're going to go to the blocks page and place a block into the header actions region. Now we've left this as an option you can use a block with, because there may be a module that you use that generates this link for you or generates a cart drop down for you. And so we do have this using the normal Drupal block system. So I'm just going to create a basic action link custom block. I have not put in a block title, and I'm just going to create a basic link. Now I do need to place this block into the header actions region in our theme. It is showing on all pages, though you could customize this just like you can any other block with Drupal. Now if we refresh, we see the apply button is there now, the apply link, and now my username is no longer linked. I unchecked that, and our hello is showing above our site name. Okay, now we're going to get into some settings related to the menu and the hero image. So if you are building a web application or a single page website, you may not need a menu. We do have that option built into the theme to disable the menu completely. So now that that is saved, we'll go preview that. And you can see the menu is now disabled. We don't recommend this if you have a general website, because the menu is crucial for having good navigation. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is how the menu and the hero image space can be manipulated and displayed. First off, you can see that this setting here is saying display the hero normally. We're going to be changing that, but first let me show you. We have two hero regions. and we're placing the hero image block, which I already created, into the hero space full width. You can see there's a full width hero space region and a constrained width feature section, and that could be used for a hero image or other featured information. So we've placed this hero image block in the hero space full width region. We're going to save that. Oh yes, one other setting we need to check. When you are using Seek Editor, you do need to make sure that your block is set to full HTML so that it can display an image. So now that that is going to display our image properly, it is still in the right region. We save that. We should now be able to see our hero image. And there it is. Now you can see it is full width, so it is sliding all the way over to the left, but it isn't stretching the full width of the page. That's where this next setting comes in. Full width header, make images stretch full width. Once we click that, now our image will stretch. Now you do want to consider the size of your image and that you are using large enough images so that this doesn't look pixelated. So now we can see our image stretches full width, and that's what we wanted. Now let's say I want to pull my hero image up behind the menu because I want to show the menu background as transparent. I do need to say I've checked the menu background as transparent, and now I do need to say this interaction between hero and menu, show the full width hero behind the menu. I may reword those options because they're kind of long, but for now that's what I have. Just took a minute to load there, but now you can see that the image is pulled up behind the menu. It would probably be a little easier to see on another picture, but if you do inspect, you can check and see that the image is indeed being pulled up behind the menu. All right, now we're going to try some settings for if we would like a constrained width image. You can see that we may want a header image that aligns with the header and footer content. So we're going to go back into our hero settings and instead check constrained width, make images stretch to container width. We may want to check that. But first we're going to say not using the full width hero, show the constrained width hero behind the menu. Now if we refresh this, now our block is fitting inside the constrained width, but it isn't lining up with the content in our header. I think it would look a lot nicer if we had this image come to the edge to align with the BYU and the edge of the search. So we're going to go change some more settings and tell this image that we do want it to stretch to the full width of the container to align with those widths there. Now we're checking, we want the image to stretch to the container width. But now if we refresh, we see that it still isn't because the container width is set to 1,000 pixels and the header is not. So we can see here this custom page width defaults to 1,000 pixels. And if we want to match it to the header, which I know is about 1,200 pixels, then we're going to want to change that setting to make it align with the content of the header. So we're going to enter 1200. Make sure you don't enter 1200 pixels because it does just take the number. So we're entering 1200. Now when we refresh, we see that the image has adjusted. It's not quite aligned, so I might want to play with this more, but that is how that setting works. So maybe 1240, 1250 might be a better width. Now, this full width instead of constrained width option, some of these options in here are just general page settings, and these are really just helpful options for you with your website, and we really want you to be able to make your website your own. So this is just something that you can play with. If your page content was very short, you may want to put a minimum height for your page. Our homepage has that tall banner and it has content on it. Most of the time, your pages won't be so short that it matters. But if your page content is so short that the footer comes up too high and you don't want that, then you can set a minimum page height. Now we're going to look at this full width instead of constrained width option. This is referring to our general page, not our header footer necessarily, but our general page width. And when we check that option, we can see that the header does adjust, and also if we scroll down, our content is not yet adjusting. Let's go back into our settings. We still had that 1250 constraint setting in there. We have to remove that for our full width to take effect. Now we do need to move our hero block back into our full width hero space, since now we're looking at a full width type of website, and we will adjust our settings to show the full width hero behind the menu and check that our full width header has images stretching to the full width. Now if we save that, now it should be looking more like a full width layout. Come here and refresh. Now we have our header full width, our hero image full width, and you can see our content is full width. So this is just another type of website that people may be interested in, and this theme enables that option. Now we're almost done going through the settings. I want to talk to you about how we add columns to the BYU footer. Again, we are using the block system. We have 4 regions, footer 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they correspond to the 4 footer columns. Now we're just going to create some custom blocks. If we scroll down, we can see there are the 4 regions. We've tried to keep this as flexible as possible so that if you have a social media block or some other contact form block that you want to be embedding in that area, you can. The block title, resources, is the one that is going to show up at the top of the column. Whatever the first block's block title is will show up as the column. Now note that you are allowed to have multiple blocks in the same column. It will just pull the title from the first one. So we did place that in our footer 1 region, and we're going to save that. We'll be doing this a couple more times to add several more footer blocks. But again, we have tried to do this as flexible as possible so that the theme is not limiting what your footer content could be. If you want to be creating a menu of links and that's how you want to manage your footer links, you could do that and place a block displaying your menu items. It doesn't have to be just straight hard-coded HTML. We're going to create another column with links. Our last one just had text. And we will place this one in our footer 2 region. Now we will add just one more block for now for the footer. I guess we'll call this about BYU. And we will save this in our footer 3 region. Now if we come back to the home page and refresh, we'll be able to see our 3 columns are there. Now over here in this 4th column, a lot of the websites using this theme so far, this has been the place where they've put their social media block, and I'm going to do another video walking you through the process of adding a social media block to your footer or to anywhere else on your page. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, there's a Slack group, and feel free to get in touch with us, and feel free to watch my next video about adding a social media block. Thank you.